right? And so when we unbecome, we create space for God to work in our. Now, unbecoming requires us to confront our fears. It requires us to confront those insecurities and those past traumas. And it's not an easy process, but it's a necessary one if we want to experience true freedom and true fulfillment. Now, listen, for years, I struggled with perfectionism and the need to please other people. And that's one of the reasons why it took me so long to release the Healing Woman Journal, because I really was like going through all of these different art covers and like thinking like, okay, well, is this going to reach a certain target audience, or what are people going to think of this cover, or are people going to like these inserts, or is this going to draw more people? You know what I'm saying? Like, are people going to like this, or are people going to like that? Or I'm not really feeling this. You know what I'm saying? Or it was a lot of different things going on in my mind in terms of perfection, and then also trying to please other people as well. And so I don't know what happened, but something shifted last year. I know in the summer of 2023, God was already taking me through a process, and he was telling me like, I need to work through you and in you on this need to please other people and things around that, because there's a place that I need to take you. But yeah, he was already beginning that work in me, but I don't know what happened and what shifted. But towards the end of the summer, I just threw my hands up and I was just like, all right, you know what? We're going to go with this cover and we're going to go with these inserts. And once I hit submit on KDP, y'all, I lied to you not. I was just like, I felt so free. That experience, like, just made me feel so free from like perfectionism and the need to please other people. I just felt so free. It was a relief to just press submit and just feel like, okay, now I can breathe, I can rest. I don't have to hold on to this any longer. Like, I can release this thing. And I surrender to the plans of God now. Like, I can move forward now. I can move a step forward now. Like, that's how free I felt. And so I allowed God to, begin that process in me. Like I say, y'all, I don't know what shifted, but I allowed God to begin that process in me and do that inner work in me. Now, I'm not perfect, obviously. I'm not perfect. I still have my moments, but I'm allow God to begin that process in me, and he began peeling back those layers. And I began to peel back those layers and embrace my vulnerabilities. And yes, it was a painful process. Like 2023, that summer was a painful process. And even now, it's still a painful process when God brings up those things. It's a painful process. But it leads to a deeper connection with God and a deeper sense of peace. And it led to a deeper sense of peace, right? That's what unbecoming is, right? It's a stripping away, a peeling back of the things that you once known, right? And it's acknowledging that, yes, we are flawed beings in need of God's grace and mercy. And through unbecoming, we surrender our desires for perfection and instead embrace the beauty of our humanity and trusting that God's strength is made perfect in our weakness. So how do we unbecome? Well, we unbecome by starting with vulnerability. Again, we have to peel back. We must be willing to peel back those layers so that we can reveal our true selves, the messy parts of ourselves, the imperfect parts of ourselves, those the beautifully flawed beings that we are. Yes, it's going to be ugly, but instead of hiding yourself from God, be naked and be unashamed. Let God into that thing. Let God see that thing instead of hiding that thing from the Lord. Let him into that anger, that bitterness, that perverted spirit. Let God into that thing and be vulnerable and open up to him and say, Lord, I give this over to you. Then let's do the work together. Let's do the inner work together so that I can be who you called me to be.